Hey guys. Okay, it says I'm live. So I guess I'm live. There you go. Hope everybody's doing okay. Um, oh, forgot this. Forgot my handy little microphone. Silly me. Let me put this on here. Okay. Yep, says my microphone's working. Let me put this little fuzzy thing on top of it. It just looks cuter. Anyway, hang on. Well, maybe I didn't bring it up here. I don't know. Okay, well, we'll just clip it on and just go with it then. Next one. Here we go. We're ready to go. I'll cover this up. Okay, here we are. Here we are. Okay, hope everybody had a wonderful evening. I just want to thank everybody for coming in yesterday. That was so fun. Hope you had a good time. It was a really good live. Today I just want to do a little bit of fun. Nothing real big. I take my glasses off. I forgot to bring my little mouse thing up here, so I have to do that by hand. And that's okay too. That's okay. And there's my friend Judy. I'm always so happy to see Judy. Judy, can you hear me okay? Just put a 1 if you can hear me okay. It's fine. Because I just never feel sure about that. Hello, love. Hello, love. Good to see you again. You get your medicine all straightened out? I hope so. Yeah. Okay, so, Lord Almighty. Hang on. It says I'm live on, it says I'm live on my channel, on my phone. Nice. Okay, I'm guessing this is working okay. That's fine too. Let me get rid of this over here. Gotta get rid of some things. And then we turn this down. Hang on. Thank you, Judy. Thank you so much. So, Judy, well, and anybody else is listening, if you're listening, come on in, talk to us. It's fine. We love everybody here. It's no problem. If you watch the Chad and Lori Day, or if you watch the Chad Daybell trial and or the Lori Daybell trial, or only the Lori Daybell trial, then I'm just going to let you know that's what we're talking about today. Well, let me try some of these other things up here. We're going to talk about the Lori Daybell trial today. It's pretty fresh. We all just watched it. The one thing about it was, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. The juror, improper juror. Yeah. Oh, hang on. I got to get rid of all these things up here. It's causing my PC to run a little slow. So there we go. All right, that's all gone. So I was going to talk about that a little bit today for the, but I'm not going to talk a whole long time. It's hot up here. All of a sudden it's getting hot up here. So let me get my little friend over here where you can see him. We'll just talk for a few minutes while we wait. Can you see my little friend? Let me put him on something y'all can see him. This is a funny little story. So my older son, who y'all have seen, I've done a video with him. We did a live one day at his house, and we did all about spray ground, which is this particular brand of stuff. And he knew I liked this particular, the pink. I love pink. So one day when I was over there, he said, "Oh, Mom, I got you something." I said, "Oh, what's that?" And he goes, "Look." And he had bought me this whole set of the luggage. It's like the carry-on size. So it's carry-on luggage, so you can just put it on the plane with you instead of having hey, Magic Star, there you are. So glad to see you, Magic. How you doing? Yeah, he is cute. I'll show you a little bit more. Look how he looks. So see, but what's cute about him? See his little bag right here? See this little bag? Okay, the purse that I have is just like it. Has the spots and stuff on it. Has the same splatter that matches it. There's a spray ground. And, the latches are all removable, so he can be a working backpack, or he can just be a bear. Either one. He's fine. But he's our little friend. He just comes on with us because I like him. So Judy goes, "How did you know I wanted to hear the story of the bear?" I'm Judy. Listen, I hope you're just laughing with me, but it's a backpack. It's a backpack, yeah. So it has little, I'll show you. It's little, so you can little zipper pockets for things. Little girls like this kind of stuff. And then the top right here is a little zipper pocket for your sunglasses and that kind of thing. The little arms have zipper pockets so you can unzip it and use it. It's just a fun little something, I know I'm very childlike sometimes, but it's okay. Yes. Oh no, hang on. Where did this go off? Hang on. I got my little earbud on, but I don't guess I really need it. I'm going to take it off. Anyway, let me put this back over here. I didn't even charge them. Always, as usual, I'm not prepared. Oh my God. Okay, let me put this back over here. So, yesterday was really fun. Really, really fun. How do y'all feel? I think I want to do another true crime little trivia show. I think that would be fun too. That was really a lot of fun. Doing great. Thank you. Hey, can we all use a little youthful? Yes, we can all use a little youthful joy. Yes, we can. So you're right about that. And I guess that's what he is, a little bit of youthful joy. Let me get a little drink. Here, it's kind of, why is it so hot up here? Yeah, I was talking to Judy and I was running a little, I got up late. I just got my hair washed and all that. I was like, oh, Lord, I'm never going to make it. I'm never going to make it. I slept late today, which I never do, but today's the day. So anyway, oh my gosh, let's cool down for a minute. Oh, yeah. So Judy, did you figure out how to get rid of that bot thing that keeps popping up? I don't have my mouse thing up here. Well, hang on. I think I got one in the drawer I can use. Let me see. It might be a plug-in one, but that's okay. We'll use it. Let me find it. So I can scroll through here and, well, it might not be up here. I might not have it. Okay, so where I'm at in this house is this little wasted of a space that they built. It's like this little, oh, here it is. Hang on. Oh, it's connected. Hang on just a second. Can I get it off of there? Yeah. So this house has this it's this crazy little cubby thing up here in the corner upstairs. And I don't like it because, okay, no, I can't put that there, can I? Because it is a wasted space. So on the other side is this it's called a media room, and then over here's the other wall, but it's really, really hot right here because behind it is the storage or where the attic part of the attic space is. So I told my husband years ago, I said, we should just tear this out and make it a wet bar. But we never did. Can you find a cloud bot on your dashboard? Cloud bot. Okay, let me look. Let me get my little glasses. Thank you, Magic. I'm over here rambling about something else and you're actually not going to help me. I'm sorry. Okay, let's see if we can find a cloud bot. Okay, not there. Clear those. We'll clear all of those. We already know all that. Let's go back to chat. Okay. Design. I hope y'all can still see me while I look through this stuff. So hang on. Styles, text. No, I don't want to add a new text. Hang on. Oh, you know what? There's this really cool thing too on here. It's called teleprompter, which is nice, So okay, settings. I'm in settings. Okay. So let's see if we can find something for this. Name that at the bottom, show your screen. Okay, display quality indicators, speaker indicators, TTS and joins, audio warnings, audio status, show names. Okay, now I don't see anything. I'm going to look at apps. Hang on, guys. Just stay with me. Oh, CloudBot. I got it right here. I found it. CloudBot for YouTube. I'm turning it off. Okay, there we go. I think I got it fixed. Thank you. I think it's fixed now. Yay. I don't think you'll see that anymore because I turned off the CloudBot. Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you. It's done. You're not going to see that. So somebody type a long message. Let's make sure that it doesn't come back. Yeah, just whatever you want to put over there. Like, you know what else I don't like? I don't know why it's showing this name like this because I don't like that either. Yeah. Okay, let me see. Upload part. What is it saying? Yes, thank you, Magic. Please try a long sentence. Thank you so much. I'm always afraid to touch buttons, and I know y'all know why, because I don't want to all of a sudden cut the stream off and we have to start all over because, that's horrible when it happens. All right. Hang on. I'll get something to drink. God, it's hot in here today. It's like a little hole with a window over here. It's like this big, it's this big long desk thing with, bookshelf up there, but it's just stupid. There's no door on it. I don't know. I think it's crazy. I don't like it. Anyway, I would love to sell this house. We need to downsize, but my husband's afraid of doing something, crazy right now because of the way things are. And I get it. With this kid leaving us to go to college, and I'm so excited about it because, he was accepted into UT and Texas A&M, but I wanted him to go to UT. Dear Lorraine, you're beautiful. Oh, thank you so Magic. Thank you. Oh, it didn't pop up. Yay, I think we're good. Thank you so much. I think it's gone. God, I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now I'm going to turn on this teleprompter thing that I found because I had loaded it up with some stuff, but yesterday when we were talking about all this, I forgot it was there and I didn't use it. So let me come back over here and find this thing. Apps, socials, widgets. No, I don't care about that. Hang on, guys. No, I don't need the news. Settings. Let me see if I can go find this thing. Let me change this right quick. Oh, that's why that's there. Got it. Okay. See, I'm learning as we go here. Learning as we go. So I can change that. I don't like my, there we go. That's done. Okay, text. All right, now here's this teleprompter thing. And it's like, I can see it, but y'all can't. I mean, I can see, but you can't. But so, I was going to tell you something else about, here we go. Let me see if I can go over here and get this. Okay. Y'all don't see anything on the screen. Did y'all see anything on the screen that popped up? Because it was the teleprompter thing, so I could. I just wanted to make sure y'all didn't see it. What that is like if you're doing a show and you got all this stuff preloaded and you want to use this teleprompter, so you don't have to remember what you want to talk about because it's just scrolling on the screen. But the only thing about that is, I think that it covers up chat, and so you can't chat with your friends while that's scrolling. So I didn't really like that part of it, but other than that, it was. I mean, it's okay. Oh, I can't plug that in, can I? Let me see. Let me see if I can put this over here and use this little mouse over here. I don't think so. I think that's the only MD. That's made different, right? I don't know. Let me see. I don't want to break it. I don't think that'll go in there. No, that's for something else. Never mind. I can't use that. Okay. Well, that's fine. All right. Anyway. All right. Here we go. Whew, what a day. Now I'm going to get this over here. So what I want to talk about a little bit is, of course, we were talking about Lori Daybell. Now, Lori Daybell in her trial and the improper juror behavior, which is going to cause a problem. You know, we all know everything because we've watched the trials. We've watched that case from the beginning of the case, from the lost children forward, right? But and it's hard for me to imagine that they found anybody who did not know anything about that case whenever they were doing jurors, when they were going through the voir dire. I just didn't think it was, hey, wait, what? There you are. So glad to see you. I just saw your name pop up. Sorry. You know, I just started talking and going on, and I just didn't know how you doing today. I'm so glad to see you. Glad you came over to join us while we talked for a little bit. It's gonna be an easy day, nothing hard, not like yesterday. We were, just going on about religions all over the place. But anyway, y'all all say hi to Wait What. So glad to see him. But the Lori Vallow, let me get back because I get all lost with my attention, whatever. Y'all know me. You know me. So you know how it is. But I always wanted to know, if you did not know anything about her, you just all of a sudden got a jury notice and you went and you got picked for this jury and you knew nothing. Based on that testimony, what do you think that you would have said? Would you have found her guilty or not guilty? Based only on the testimony from the trial. What do you think? Go. Y'all tell me. Oh, hang on. I'm going to pull this back up. Because I want to find. Oh, there it is. Hang on. Let me get over here. Wait, what's this? Oh, good to see. Oh, yeah, she's talking to y'all. Y'all talk amongst yourself for a second. Isn't that funny? We'll tell you, talk amongst yourself. I mean, you can text each other, but you really can't talk to each other. Wouldn't it be fun if everybody called in and we just all talked to each other at once? That would be fun, but I don't know how many people you can have calling at once. I'm going to have to figure that out. That would be fun. Like if you could have 5, 6, 7 people all call in and just have a big conversation, I think that would be fun. Okay, here. On Lori, let me go over here. Lori Vallow trial. I can't wait for the next one. I can't wait for my documents to come in. They're sending me a little disc with all of the documents on it. So that's pretty exciting. So we can go over that. So let's talk about this for a minute. Okay. Let me come over here and get this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm never always prepared. So I'm going to read y'all something. Oh, stop it. And this came from USA Today. I thought that they do a really good job too. I love reading to y'all. I prefer reading to y'all versus watching videos. And I know some people don't like that, and some people do like that. But anyway, so I'm going to read something from USA Today, a little bit of where they talked about it. It said she requested a new trial 9 days after she was found guilty by the jury for conspiring to kill her husband. She filed a motion requesting a new trial on May 1st. claiming a juror said in a local television interview that they were aware of Vallow Daybell's prior murder convictions in Idaho, despite it not being brought up at trial. Now, when they did the voir dire, they asked everybody, "Do you have any knowledge?" And I believe they all said no. Or I think that's what I remember, but we could be wrong, because if any of them said, "Well, I know something, but I don't know it all," I mean, would that be a reason? Would that be a reason for her to get a new trial? That's something I don't know, but I'm very interested to see what the judge is going to say about that. It takes a long time to go through the appeal process. So anyway, she goes, the 13-page motion also claimed there were discovery violations, prosecutorial misconduct, and lack of impartiality. Really, that doesn't make any sense at all. And then it talks about how in 2023 that Vallow and Daybell, which was her fifth husband, for whom she is currently married to, were convicted in Idaho of the murders of her two youngest children. My dog is going to bark. It's that old dog, Judy. She just starts acting silly. Anyway, for the murders of her children. And there's no door for me to shut, so we just have to work through it. I'm just going to talk louder so y'all can all hear it. So anyway, that's fine too. Oh, Lord. Oh, I hope I'm not getting delivered. Well, that's okay. Yeah. Anyway, so they're talking about that, and then they're talking about how she represented herself in her recent conspiracy murder trial, and she declined to testify or call witnesses. Now, we talked about this a little bit yesterday about the Zalemas and the Melanies, and how she should have. But see, if she would have called them as a witness, what would they have said? Because they were also active in all of the castings, etc. So that would have been like a catch-22 witness for her, I think. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? It would open up a bunch of just, "Hey, true crime lover, how are you? So glad to see you. Glad you came over today to have fun with us." I enjoyed it. I enjoy talking to everybody. But y'all all say hi to True Crime Lover. Those would have been double-edged swords right there for her, because had she called them, that would have opened the door for the prosecutors to start asking questions about the prior acts because of the castings and those kind of things. So that it went good and it went bad, for her to do that. Her closing argument, she said that prosecutors had twisted a personal catastrophe into a criminal narrative. Well, let me tell you something, and I'm sure y'all feel the same way. I don't know how a personal catastrophe that involved her husband being ambushed when he came in the door to pick his child up to take him to school. How is that a personal catastrophe? I mean, no, there's just no way. If anybody, I always wondered about if anybody knew nothing at all about her, and then you heard the story, and then you saw the evidence of how the shots were fired. He was down when the second shot was fired. There was no reason for that. That he made sure that Charles could not speak, because Charles would have said, "I was ambushed," that they planned all of this. Look at my crazy hair. Anyway, so that's one thing. So I think based on that, if you're just listening to only the evidence shown in the trial, knowing nothing prior, would you still convict? I mean, I think I would have, based on those text messages. They had at the trial, it really only took them, this is true, 41 minutes. 41 minutes to take a vote and come up with a solid all guilty. The first time they voted, there were two people that held out. But then they replayed those text messages, and that's what turned them to go ahead and vote yes. And it was 41 minutes, the whole thing. Because on the first day, they were given the instructions, and they, hey, okay, Judy, glad you're back. They were given the instructions, and they talked for about 15 minutes and chose who was going to be their head juror, and then they left. That was the end of it. So they show up the next morning, they take a little vote, and then they have the holdouts. They watch a couple of things and look at the text messages, and then it's over. Hey, Marley, how are you doing? Where's Marley? Marty. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, True Crime Lover. That is Marty. How are you doing? Marty, aren't you still a mod for me? I think you are, but I'm on Streamlab, not StreamYard, and I don't know how to put the moderators in yet because I'm trying to change over because I just hate StreamYard. So Marley, um, when I figure it out, you'll be showing up with your wrench back. You'll have your wrench back because you're supposed to have a wrench over here. I don't know how to put it over here, so I know it's so sad. I'm just so silly, huh? Wait a minute. I bet it's. I don't know if it's over here. I don't know where you put it. It has to be over here. Let's see if we can figure it out real quick. Y'all bear with me, okay? On the settings. Hang on a minute. Let's see if we can find one where it says that my stream avatar. Okay. Da da da. Okay. Hang on, guys. Oh no. I'm still with y'all. Y'all hang on. I don't want to go look out settings. Oh, I've got my phone right here. Let's just talk while we do that. Let's get our wrench back for our mod over here. Marley. Yes. Oh, she has a wrench. See, I can't see it. That's so weird because I don't see it. Okay, great. All right, Marley. So glad to see you today. So you can help me because yesterday, I don't know if you watched my live last night from yesterday because Lord, there was this person that showed up in here and it was inappropriate, but it wasn't like a horrible inappropriate. It's just inappropriate. But anyway, and I didn't know how to get rid of it. It was crazy. She's got it all. Thank you, Magic Star. Thank you. Anyway, so I don't have to mess with all that. Great. So happy to hear that. So we'll do, let's see. Hang on a minute. So let's just do a little clap. Hang on, y'all. I'm trying to learn these little extras that this one has. That's where I was. I gotta come back over here. Come on, where was I? I lost my whole place. I'm so silly. There we go. Okay, we're looking at this article. So okay, so the whole 41 minutes to find her guilty. 41 minutes. Now here's the other part of all this, and I'm not sure if y'all know all this, but if you choose to represent yourself, you cannot file an appeal based on ineffective counsel because you would say that you do not represent yourself well enough. Well, you're not an attorney. You're not expected to be able to represent yourself like an attorney. So anyway, so you can't do that. But I thought that was interesting. But anyway, so I'm just reading this little. So the prosecutors argued that Valo Daybell had plotted with her brother for months to kill her husband, and that the motive was financial, to earn life insurance and other death benefits, and a romantic interest. Okay. Now, I don't know why she didn't think about this, but this is my understanding about how the death benefits work on Social Security. Now, I don't know if I don't know how far in advance they plan to get rid of the children. Okay, that's something else you would have to, I wish I knew that but nobody's ever going to know that because they're never going to admit to that. They're never going to talk about that. But anyway, I think that I would like to know how far in advance that they planned that, because remember, she got really upset that she didn't get the $1 million, that her sister got his sister got the $1 million. But she she told them, yeah, when you represent yourself, you have a fool for a client. That's right. You sure do. But you're absolutely right about that, Judy. But remember her talking to Chad in these text messages. Well, it could have been in the text messages, or it could have been also in the portal in the closet that she claimed to have in her home, which is how she actually talked to Chad Daybell. So I don't know if they're actually talking to each other now through the portal under the bed at the prison or not. Just saying. But anyway, so talking about, she would still have the benefits. She would still have the benefits, about $4,000 a month for widow's benefits. Well, here's the deal. You cannot be married to somebody else and get death widow benefits. You can't do it. It's against the rules, But she remember in the trial, she kept talking about, to the person from the Social Security office saying, isn't that what you told me? Isn't that what you told me? But she had that wrong. Now, I understand that she could have gotten benefits for each one of the children. Well, she would have only gotten it for her son, JJ, because the Tylee was fixing to age out, because I think it's like 18. We stopped getting Social Security benefits for a surviving child. but she would have gotten for JJ. But now, if you're married, you're not going to get the benefit for the widow and the child. You're only going to get the child. Now, I think that she thought she was going to get some other benefit too because of his disabilities. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure on that. But I just thought it was ridiculous. I mean, that right there, those messages right there tell you that this was completely greed driven, just greed. Because here's another thing. Now, I'm just going to get off on my tangent here. I hope y'all don't mind. But okay, talk about Charles Vallow. Charles Vallow was a decent man. He loved her. He took care of her. He wanted to take care of her and JJ. I don't know what in the, HELL made her want to go from Charles, this great, who was a good man, a good provider, he cared about his family, over here to Chunko Chad, which is what I'm going to call him, who did not take care of himself. He did not take care of his family. He was only concerned about himself. Now, Chad, from what I understand, I think he had a college education. So why is he over here being a grave digger, a sexton? Why is he doing that? I mean, he only made about, I think I understood it was about maybe 30 grand a year or something, that Tammy, God love her, God rest her soul, was actually the breadwinner other than their publishing company, but their publishing company was not doing that well. So I don't know what made her think. Here's another thing. What made them think that little bit of money could have lasted the whole time? Oh, wait a minute. Is my son at home? Hang on, y'all. Tristan. Okay. Yeah, my son's at home. All right. I'm doing my little show. Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry, guys. Anyway, sure, she thinks $1 million would have taken her a long way, but it really wouldn't. That $1 million would have been gone in a heartbeat, especially the way they were living, especially the way that she lived. Because, Lori would just go whatever she wanted, do whatever she wanted, anytime she wanted. She knew no boundaries. Nobody ever told her no. Can you imagine living like that? Nobody ever told her no. So then she doesn't get the $1 million. So then they're stuck with these kids. They still have the 2 kids. But, Tally was 17, almost 18. She was going to be leaving. Yeah, Judy says, love bombing, manipulating delusions of grandeur with a God complex. Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you, Magic Star. The saying is, yes, by Abraham Lincoln. Thank you so much. The talent, they would have had just Jay to be responsible for. That's it. So it just feels like she thought that Uncle Chad there has some kind of magic ability to make the kind of income that she was used to living on, but he did not. He was never going to have that. So I thought that was that was also strange. The greed part of it right there is I know everybody had to see the greed part. But again, we know things outside that the people that were on the jury did not know. So to them, they're just seeing this lady whose husband died in the home at the hands of her brother, who was just innocently standing by there, and some little fight happened. And you notice she tried to blame it on Tyler. Do you remember that? She said, had there been no bat, there would have been no gun. Every single thing that has went on, she has blamed on Tyler. It's Tyler this, Tyler that, or she blamed it on JJ. And I'll tell you something too. So Chad Daybell wrote a book, and I have to remember the name of the book. I don't remember it right now, but he wrote this book, and the details of what they said that JJ was doing were in that book. So all of a sudden, JJ was the little boy in the book that Chad wrote about. You see, it's kind of weird how they just took parts of the books that Chad had written and made them real life. It's the strangest thing in the world. I just can't. Yeah, I just can't. When she blamed JJ, your blood boiled. Absolutely. It's never a child's fault, and especially a child with his disabilities. Are you kidding me? But see, look at this, though. Think about this. David Warwick, which we talked about yesterday, and Melanie Gibb, which we talked about yesterday, was in the home in Rexburg when some of these things went on, and they saw this go on, and they did not say a word to anybody. Really? They saw they saw her falsely accusing that child of doing things. And I'm going to find out the name of that book too. I just want to I don't remember what it is right now, but it's just a book about this little boy. Dang, I'm going to go look it up right now. Now I have to do it because I want to know. But yeah, here we go. Let's see. So Chad, let's look this up right now. We'll just look up on the trusty little internet here. Okay, Chad writes a book. About a little boy with bad behaviors. Because, I mean, but see, he wasn't a bad boy. That child was not bad. He was just had a little problem. So, all right. Let me see if I can find it. Chad Daybell's book here. Anyway, I thought about buying copies of Chad Daybell's books and kind of going through them and looking at that stuff. But then I decided, I don't know. I don't want him to be making money off of me because he's in prison where he needs to be. So hang on a second. He wrote a book about Emma. Here, let's see. It was called, I think it's right over here. Let's see. Let me find this little book here. It was a children's book. Come on. He wrote a lot of books, but they weren't very good. I think it was part of the Tiny Talks. I think it's part of the Tiny Talks books that he wrote that described everything that JJ was doing, that was talked about in the trials. This child in this book was doing. I thought that was the wildest thing ever. But anyway, okay, we'll go back over here. So we'll get back on what we're talking about. We're talking about the trial. And if you had not watched the trial and you knew nothing about this trial, based on the testimony, would you have voted for him guilty or not guilty? So let's do this. If you would have voted guilty, put a 1 in the chat. Okay, we'll see how many people agree with me. Because if you knew nothing and you just saw the trial, it could have went either way. Maybe not. But anyway, that's what I wonder. I wonder how many people, knowing nothing, would have been said, "Oh, not guilty." So, my husband just sent me a funny thing about my dog. Okay, so my little dog Jack, he is a little Frenchie, and he is weird as all get out. And when you first look at him, it's like he's like the professor. My husband says my husband feels like he's going to correct him at any moment. Like he feels like Jack is going to say, "No, you can't do that." It's so funny. It's like Jack doesn't know how to be a dog either. Jack is he's just a really weird dog. He is, but he's a good dog, and he's very, very smart because I can tell him something and he goes and does it. He understands exactly what I'm saying to him. Yeah. So I bet you the majority is going to be that yes, absolutely guilty, absolutely. So anyway, all right, let me go back over here to my little article we were reading about this. Okay, so this, and again, this is from the USA Today. Now, I want to also, okay, so it says the filing further claimed that the prosecutors presented irrelevant, prejudicial, and improper character evidence. Really? Because I don't remember that at all. But when I get the documents from the courts from Maricopa County, I'll be able to show y'all. I can put it all up there, and I can show y'all what she's complaining about and about her previous convictions that are coming up in the Brandon Boudreaux trial, which I can't wait for that to start. I think it's going to start here I think in June. It's going to start. Okay, so she says. Hang on a minute. She says, and they gave false statements to jurors over various details that included Vallow Daybell's demeanor. How was any of it false? It was not. Exactly what they said is exactly how she acted. You know, the Maricopa County Attorney's Office had not filed a response to Vallow Daybell's motion as of May 4th, nor did it immediately respond to a request for comment. So even the prosecutor's office did not comment to the news or anybody else about her complaints of misconduct. So I would love to see what their response was. So here we go. Let's see if we can find it here. Prosecutor's response. This is fun. I love this reading and talking. To Lori's appeal. In Arizona. All right. So according to, this is according to their news station over here at KTAC, which is an Arizona news station. So according to them, they what are they saying? I'm talking about. I want to read about not the opening statement, but what their response was to her appeal. So that's what we're trying to find over here. Has the jury reached a verdict? Here we go. Come on now. Oh Lord, y'all talk amongst yourself for a second. Okay, Lori's appeal. I'm also going to get Chad Daybell's appeal. I want to see what his appeal is based on. I mean, all death penalty cases get an appeal. It's automatic, you know. So anyway, Lori's appeal in Arizona. Prosecutor's response. That's what I want to know. Okay, here we go. It should pop up now. They may not even made a response yet. They may be like, she's crazy. None of that matters. Judge, you know, the judge, she had also, remember one of her last statements was she asked for the automatic dismissal because she thought they didn't prove their case. That's a pretty standard thing as well. So, okay. Here we go. Come on now. Oh, the Arizona Supreme Court. Oh, already. Okay. I don't know if they may not have made a response yet because I don't see anything, but I tell you what we can do. We can go out, hang on a minute. I have access to, let me go look at Pacer. Let me see if we can find anything on Pacer yet. Pacer is a system where if you have access to it, you can pay to pull up legal documents, okay? So I'm going to go over there and see if we can find on Pacer that appeal. So hold on a minute, y'all. Y'all come watch with me. Let's go. Let's see. We're going to search for a case right here. We're going to search by national index. Okay, we're going to sign in, find a case. Let's go. Come on. By a national index. Let's go. Come on, let's go. And we're going to log in real quick. I'll show you what I'm looking at too. There we go. Okay, got to log into the other part. Okay, here we go. Yep, let's go. Log in. Okay, I'm going to look up Chad Daybell, and see if I can find his appeal yet. I'll tell you one thing, you know, Letitia Stouch, everybody thought she never filed an appeal, but she actually did file an appeal. The first time she filed it, it was pro se. And the second time, Google it, there they are. The second time she filed it, I'm actually going to get the document itself, okay? The second time that she filed for her appeal, she actually has an attorney's. So the reason why, I don't know if y'all have kept up with her or not, but she is constantly getting in trouble and trying and filing all kinds of lawsuits and everything else. I don't know if y'all keep up with that, but it's fascinating how this woman keeps on and on and on. Well, here it is, Chad Daybell. Oh, but guess what it is? It is a Utah bankruptcy. It is not his criminal case. That's fascinating. So we can pull, and I'm not going to pull that up, y'all. It was from, well, I'll just give a little bit of it, but not much. So here we are. Here she is, Lori, again. Now this is terrible. So she goes from this life that she has with Charles, which is a nice, cushy little life, over here to Chad, who's also just coming out of bankruptcy. from his failed businesses. And this was in, what year was this? Hmm. Hang on a second. It'll tell me exactly what year it was discharged. Okay. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. It's down at the bottom. Come on. In 2008. Okay, so it was over 7 years old. That's good. So it was kind of old. But that's sad. That's sad. But anyway, so we'll talk about something else. But I don't know. I just wanted to come on and talk today for a little while. See if there's anything else you wanted to talk about while we wait on getting other documents, or um, bringing in some videos, or any of that kind of thing. Oh, let me get this over here. I'm sorry. I did a little Chad. I don't know if any of you watched it or not, but I had done a Chad Daybell compared to Charles Manson. Okay, I done a little show on that, and the original show was pulled from the YouTube for whatever reason. That's fine. I'm not gonna. I tried to appeal it. That didn't work. That's fine too. We'll just go on with it. But I don't know if it was. I don't really know why. At first I thought, well, it's got to be because of the people I'm comparing, because their crimes were so heinous, right? But then I realized, no, it's not that, because other people talk about some of these things as well on the internet. But anyway, I am going to go back and finish that series as soon as I get a chance to, because but I need some of these other documents to help me do that. Yeah, Judy, that's what I was talking about. I was telling you, I got that thing, and I got that, and it was pulled, and it made me upset because I didn't know what I'd done wrong. I didn't think I did anything wrong, but apparently they think I did do something wrong. So it's fine. Oh, Lord. Summary background. What is this? Okay. Let me find my little comparison. I have notes on that because I think I just do better when I do notes, when I make notes about things. So here we go. Let me get it. It's over here, right here. Where's my word? I got my word perfect to pull up. Okay, here. Oh, Manson. Charles Manson, he's a fascinating person, really. They talk about when I was doing the comparison. Okay, so when I was doing the comparison of these two, the funny thing about it was Charles Manson had no religion at all in his cult. It did not stand for anything religious. It was just all things he made up in his mind, right? But for Chad Daybell, it all come back to religion, because everything that he was pulling his people into the cult with was religion based. Now, it's not all Mormon based, because we know he abused and used and lied and made up his own things took pieces of every religion out there, I guess, and just made up his own religion. Remember, we talked about that yesterday with the Church of the Firstborn and all of that. But they're comparable in the fact that they were both running a cult. They're comparable in the fact that they used they use things to basically scare people. I think it's to scare people into following them. Well, if you don't follow me, you're not going to be in the 144,000. Well, if you don't follow me, you're going to die in the wars, or you're going to, whatever. Because Charles Manson's over here. Charles Manson's ultimate goal. Now we know what Chad's ultimate goal was, to get a hot new wife, right? And Chad Daybell thought that Lori had all this money. See, he thought that by hooking up with her, he was going to come into money that he had never had before, and he could live the life he wanted to live that he could never live before. That's how it appeared to me. I don't know if that's how it appeared to you, but to me, that's how it appeared. Charles Manson, on the other hand, his ultimate goal was to start this race war over here and then to run for president. I know that sounds completely crazy, but that is exactly what he planned. And I'm going to tell you where I got that from. Not only from this book here, but in all the writings about him. There's just many times that people have said, well, based on what they've read, what they've had interviews with him and these kind of things, that his ultimate goal was he wanted to run the United States of America. He wanted to be the president. So I'm going to tell you where this came from here. Charlie Manson. Hang on, y'all. This is fun to just do it this way. Ultimate goal. Hang on. 2 run America. Okay, here we go. All right. This is over in the now this is in the dictionaries too, which all right. There's and it talks about this the latest. Okay, listen to this. The latest news documentary examines the links between Charles Manson and the CIA. Okay, a new documentary explores major conspiracies about the notorious cult leader Charles Manson and his followers. And of course, it's talking about that book, The Chaos, or that it's they had a documentary I think on Netflix. It's called Chaos. Yeah, Judy says Manson did use LSD as a way to reach enlightenment in a way that was in the way that was a religion in itself in the 60s. He used it as a tool of manipulation. He really didn't take it himself. You know, I heard that too, Judy. In this, I don't know if that's Judy. Let me show you this. Hang on, y'all. I have to pick this up. I have my computer on it, so I look taller or something because I'm really short. But anyway, okay. See this book right here? All right. Now, this book has everything you ever wanted to know about Charles Manson and his entire family right here. But this is part of what I'm using for my comparison, but I need some other information as well. But so the Chaos that was on Netflix it's really good. I did watch it, and I suggest everybody go watch it. But it just had some fascinating, Manson, and he started out with just a few followers. He didn't have a whole bunch of people with him until he went out to Spawn Ranch because he had no place to keep any of these people. He had no place for these people to be, So when he planned, and the only reason why Sharon Tate is gone is because she lived in the house that Melcher lived in, which is sad. They had moved, and nobody in Charles Manson, of course, he didn't know that. So he goes there and just whoever it was, that's who it was. That's who got taken out, which is just horrible. So it's a shame. And how could you do that to somebody that was pregnant like that? I mean, it just makes you sick every time you think about it, So but I'm going to go back through this book, and I am going to finish my comparison, but I'm just getting a couple more things. But oh boy, Charles Manson actually does have a son, and he looks like him. I don't know if everybody's ever looked at that, but he does look like him. So anyway, he found his very first follower was Mary Bruner. She was 23-year-old, and she worked in the library in California at Berkeley. He moved in with her, so he was just on the streets and all that. So he just moves in with her. Okay. So Judy says the book is better and goes more into depth on MK Ultra. Okay, listen, Judy, MK Ultra. What is MK Ultra? Can you tell me? Am I looking at something wrong? MK Ultra. Okay. And then he always wanted to start this commune, So that's really where it started, was those two people. And when they talk about this helter skelter. Well, that was all induced by drugs, and it's just this dude. Okay, so I think that Charlie Manson, sadly, if he would have used his mind properly, he was not a dumb person. I don't think he was. I think he's smarter than people thought he was. So, okay, she goes, okay, True Line. I started a new job this weekend after pneumonia. Oh my God, you had pneumonia? I'm so sorry. I wanted to go sit in court for Lori's trial, but it didn't work out. And it doesn't look like I'll get to go to the next one. I'm sorry, True Crime Lover. I'm just going to call you Marty because that's what I know you as, okay? I'm sorry that happened. I didn't know you'd been sick like that. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I'm glad you got over it. There's another creator that we haven't seen in a while. And so everybody's like, where is she? Where is she? Well, we found out yesterday that she's been extremely sick too. So, but I think there's a lot of people that all of a sudden come down with pneumonia. I know when I got off that cruise boat, girl, I was so sick for 6 weeks, 7 weeks. I thought I was going to die. I mean, at one point, I'd been on the couch for 6 days. That's how sick I was. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, so there's just some things I want to do, and some things I want to finish, and some things I need more information for, and some things y'all have a lot of information that you might want to pass on to me. Judy says it was a CIA study and testing of LSD on people for weaponizing it. Yeah. I mean, but look, if you look back, look at Hitler. Hitler's the same thing. All of his visions and things, all of this crap he's doing was just drug induced, because he had this doctor that concocted all kinds of things up for him because he was afraid of getting cancer. So Hitler goes over there and he has this personal doctor who's making up all this stuff and say, "Oh, take this, it will keep cancer away. Oh, take this, it'll keep cancer away." Well, it's making him crazy. And so the next thing you know, he's over here killing millions of people. I mean, crazy. So Judy says, Charlie was part of that study. Oh, I did not know that. I had not gotten to that point. So Charlie was in the study with the government, the CIA, on LSD. And apparently it worked on his followers. Okay. So his followers, so in this book and other things I've seen, it talks about them having big parties and these people taking these drugs. And wow. So he would not take them, but they all would, and then he would just sit back and watch and see what happens, right? Right? Yeah. God, craziness here. I don't. There's other cult leaders out there, though. Think about this. Okay, Scientology. Think about that. Isn't that a cult? Isn't most? Not all are bad. Some are good, but isn't most religions basically sort of a cult? They're telling us things. They're saying, believe what we tell you to believe. You don't need to look it up yourself. Yeah, I know that Hitler was a Jew hater, but also if you go back and you look at Hitler and some of the things he was doing, a lot of it was driven from the drugs that his personal doctor was just making up, and it was all things that would make you have hallucinations. So in these hallucinations, Hitler was coming up with all this crap. So anyway, he that's part of his story, and there's just a lot of controversy about him. But so if you talk about Hitler taking hallucinogenics, you've got the Manson over here taking hallucinogenics. Now, did Chad have any hallucinogenics? I don't know. Well, not that we know of, but anyway, he wrote the Men. Oh, well, that's interesting. I guess I'm gonna have to get that and read that now, Judy. I guess so. But anyway, when we talk about religions, a lot of those, aren't they basically a cult? They tell you to believe anything that they tell you to believe and don't look. So that's kind of fascinating. That if you're not allowed to question what you're being told, then what is it? So you're just supposed to follow. Now, and we talked about this too. I grew up in a Baptist home. My grandfather was a Baptist preacher, and that was what we were taught. You don't question God. You don't question God. No, you just don't. So, and I know religion is really hard to talk about, especially Judy says you really don't want to read it. It's a manual of hatred. Probably not, but if it explains, some of the reasons why Hitler did the things he did, but there is no excuse for him. Don't you wish? I wonder if there's any way, just like when the Romans removed the reincarnations from today's Bible as we know it, is there any way to remove Hitler from the world? Just remove his existence out of every book in the world and nobody ever talk about him again. Wouldn't that be? I wish they could do that. That would be great. I really do. Because people like him don't need to be remembered. People like him don't need to have people do a copycat of. No, I sure don't. Think about this for a second, though. Okay, there are a lot of copycat crimes. Something will happen, and then all of a sudden, somebody else will do this exact same thing. Now, we're going to talk about disappearing kids that are disappearing. There's a lot of copycat disappearances of children, and I'm not going to accuse anybody of anything. I don't want to be one of those people that said, "Oh, this person did it because of A, B, C, and D," or "This person did it because of D, E, and F." But when you look at the missing children situation, there is a study out there about missing children or children who are deceased. That how much of the percentage is done by the actual parent or the step parent involved? That the stranger. How do I want to put this? The likelihood of a stranger kidnapping your child and injuring your child is not as large as people think it is. And we were always taught stranger danger, but really it should be within your household. actually. So let's look at that study real quick. We're just talking about everything in general. There's really no set topic today. Just things, just things we want to talk about. There's something else I want to talk about, we can. So let's look at this study about this. It's the study on missing children, okay, and parents. There we go. All right, we can look at that real quick. Okay. Now, this is a little study they had done on the percentages, how many children are actually, basically what happens is they're being, oh, he ran away, but really that's not what happened. No big story's planned, but that's not what happened. Because when you dig back into it and you look at the facts, they don't match up with what happened to the child. But unfortunately, if you don't have the child to tell you what happened to them, you're not going to know. It comes down to, and there is no perfect crime. Okay, there's not. Something is always going to tell on somebody. So anyway, the study on missing children and parents revealed a serious psychological impact on parents when their child is missing, as well as the prevalence and various factors surrounding the family abductions. Research highlights the emotional distress parents experience, including fear, anger, and grief, and the need for support in the psychoeducation. Family abductions, while a smaller percentage of missing child reports, are significant cause of concern, with the non-custodial parent being the most common abductor. Okay? Family abductions. These are distinct types of missing child cases, often involving a parent taking a child without permission, as reported by missingkids.org. The non-custodial abductor. In significant percentage of family abduction cases, the non-custodial parent is the abductor, according to Child Find America. Children experiencing family abductions can also suffer emotional and psychological distress, requiring support and therapy to cope with the trauma. There's a huge need for support. Parents and authorities need collaborative support and resources to understand and address the complex challenges related to the missing children, as stated in the study on ResearchGate. So let's look at that. Let's look at that one real quick. We'll just go on to ResearchGate and see what it says. Yes, I'm a human. All right. Oh, wow. Okay, so they did a big study. And it says the aim of this qualitative study was to explore parental experiences in handling of missing or runaway children below the age of 12. Data was collected using in-depth interviews and later analyzed using thematic analysis. The parents were identified from the police data and reported missing or runaway children from years of 2009 to 2010. Two main themes emerged from the parents' reaction to missing children: negative psychological responses and disruption of daily activities. Fear of the child's safety, worry, and anxiety were the most commonly reported feelings. Most parents reported that they felt their world turned upside down. Hold on a minute. Listen to the statement I just said. Okay. Most of the parents reported that they felt their world turned upside down. I want you to think about a current case that's going on. I'm not going to name names. And I want you to think back about the interviews they've done. And I want you to think about exactly what they said in the interviews about their world being turned upside down. Have they read this study? I don't know. Okay, but I'm not going to blame anybody. When their children went missing, parents relied heavily on social support, such as police, families, and neighbors, to help locate their children and missing or runaway children. Seeking information and visiting children's favorite places appeared as important strategies used by the parents, and the parents showed that they trusted close social networks more than they did the police in assisting them. Yeah, I can understand that, because from what we've seen, there's a lot of police or law enforcement where it appears that they don't take it serious. They don't do the right thing. And in fact, I wish they would have they need to make a new law. I'll tell you why. Every time you have a child with any kind of disability that has supposedly ran away, you need to treat that as a crime scene from day one. Okay? So, because children with disabilities are more likely to be injured by a parent than a child with non-disabilities. So because it gets stressful, it becomes overwhelming. It's just a lot, and people, sometimes people can't handle it, or they need longer respites. They need, they need assistance, but sometimes they just won't ask for it. But anyway, so I can see that seeking information and visiting children's favorite places appeared as important strategies used by the parents. Parents showed that they trusted their close social networks more than the police in assisting them. The study emphasizes the importance of mutual understanding between parents and authorities in regard to managing a crisis situation such as this one. Psychoeducation programs for both parents and authorities are needed to improve collaboration, to better understand and cope with challenging situations related to missing or runaway children. Yeah, that I agree with that. This is kind of an interesting study. Go back over here. Oh, that's too small. All right, let me get back over to let me go to the next page, y'all. Here we go. I got to blow it up some. Exploited children in 2013, for example, an estimated 800,000, y'all, 800,000 children younger than 18 years of age are reported missing each year in the United States. 230,000 in the United Kingdom from 2009 to 2010. 100,000 in Germany, 50,000 in Canada, and 45,000 in Mexico. Okay, and there's a few more places, but it gets smaller and smaller. Now, I'd like to know why it gets smaller and smaller. Do they have less children, or just better, or do they have better agencies to help them with these children? I don't know. So, from the stats, it can be estimated that about 4 children under the age of 18 may have gone missing each year in the. Okay, that's a different. Let's get out of that. We're going to get out of the different states. We're going to go to the next part. To the general public, the definition of a missing child may seem relatively easy, which is children who run away from home. However, for most of the researchers who are studying this issue, hang on, this is so tiny, studying this issue, defining missing children can be complicated due to a multitude of factors surrounding the phenomenon. Children were reported to be missing for many reasons. Some children went missing, I'm on the top of the page, from their homes because they ran away from home. Some have been thrown out by their caretakers. Meanwhile, some went missing due to abduction. The National Incidence Studies. Oh, that's new. The National Incidence Studies of Missing and Abducted, Runaway, or Throwaways of Children divided the data for missing children into 8 different categories. Okay, that's interesting. Runaway and throwaways, non-family abductions, family abductions, custodial interference, and lost involuntary missing. And okay, number 6 was missing due to injury, and number 7 is missing due to false alarm situations. Number 8 was sexual assaults. The categories developed by NISMART are based on, that's the initials for this study, are based on a comprehensive data obtained from various sources, including a large telephone survey of households, a survey of youth residential facilities, and a study of returning runaways, a survey of the police records, and reanalysis of the Federal Bureau of Investigation's data on child homicides, and a reanalysis of the data from the study of the national incidence and prevalence of child abuse and neglect. Conversely, now this is weird, Malaysia does not yet have a comprehensive study about the phenomenon. As a result, the data is incomplete and therefore may fail to accurately explain the causes. Okay, that's over in Malaysia. So based on the 2 distinct types of running away behaviors, which are episode running away and chronic running away. Episode running away refers to running away behavior that is triggered by an event. There is no consistent pattern of those type of behaviors, and children are not using it in a problem-solving strategy at all times. It may be used to avoid some consequences, humiliation, or embarrassment. Meanwhile, wow, that's kind of, think about that. Children run away because of consequences of something they've done, humiliation, or embarrassment. Is that the child's fault or the parent's fault? Magic says faith means believing something in the absence of proof. Loosely speaking, one parent's truth can be different from another parent's truth. That's right. I agree with that, Magic. I do. Okay, Judy said. People are, you're right, Magic. People are very passionate about their beliefs and religions and can induce a lot of division with their, yeah, they can. And Judy says, due to the internet, Judy says, due to the internet, where did it go? We hear more about this now. The rhetoric or persuasion, the truth needs none, right? And then she goes, nowhere does it say to have faith, nor are we commanded to have faith. We are commanded to love God and the nation of Israel to obey his, okay, hang on. I don't want to say that wrong, Mitzvot, one of two. Okay. Now, I'm going to keep reading this about the missing children because I think it's interesting and people don't really stop and think about these things. So, okay, so we're talking about humility. Meanwhile, chronic running away refers to running away behaviors that is used to gain power in the family. Oh, wow. It is perceived as a form of power struggle to manipulation or acting out. Thus, to understand those manipulations, the multi-layered study and the factors of the comprehensive study is warranted to better address the issue. This is an important issue, and each individual has a role to play in tackling the problem. So I guess this is not factoring I don't think this is factoring elopers as from, autism. I don't think that's factored in here because it's not, it's talking about deliberate running away. Or maybe it's in a different part of the study. I think that's, because the children that elope, they don't deliberately run away. They're just driven to it. It's something in their mind, So there's a table down here that shows how many children out of so many were based on and what it was based on. I wish I could show this to you. And most of it and the thing is, the children that are 1 to 6 years old, there's hardly any that run away. Okay, that's hardly any of those children will run away. The children 7 to 12, only 25% is from unknown reasons. So that's kind of strange, isn't it? Then listen to this. I thought this was weird. Neglect by family. Children 7 to 12 years old, 1% is neglect by family. Wow. And number 7 to 12-year-olds, 5% of it is wants more freedom. And then and then over here it says 7-year-olds to 12 years old, they're following their friends is why they run away. Now that's kind of strange, huh? That's a very interesting table, but anyway, so we'll just go over here and talk about this for a second. In their findings, it supports the notion that children missing or running away from home was related to negative environments such as to escape from physical abuse or negative family situations. Negative family environments such as alcohol and or drug abuse were identified as contributing factors as to why children ran away from home. Few studies associated with missing or runaway children with the motivation to more desirable or adventuresome social situations. Oh, like they want to be in Joey's home because they have more fun over there. Okay. However, it is notable to mention that missing or runaway behavior may also indicate poor problem-solving skills, which would be children that have disabilities, I think, So, I don't know, just reading. They may run away. It says from home as immediate. Okay, they may run away without their problem-solving skills and perceive running away from home as immediate solutions. So, for example, the research by Lightfoot et al. In 2011 showed that the higher levels of a problem-solving and planning skills were strongly related to lower levels of multiple problem behaviors in homeless youth. Oh, wow. The finding is consistent with the study done by Dunham, who researched optimism, hope, problem-solving, and runaway behavior in adolescents. In the dependency systems in Canada, the study found that runaway adolescents had dysfunctional problem-solving skills, including negative problem orientation, impulsivity, and carelessness styles, and displayed avoidant problem-solving styles. So they just avoided it and they would just run away. But anyway, well, let's see. We've been on here about an hour. Okay, we'll get back on this later. I just want to talk about many different things, but I think it's interesting to look at these runaway studies and figure out, what makes a child run away, But not everything is as it appears. There are many cases out there that, the children are called in as a runaway, but that's not really what happened. And people, all of these parents and people know, if you report your child as a runaway, guess what? that they are going to assume that the child ran away. They're not going to look to see if anything happened. And by the time they do, if they see, by the time they do figure out, oh no, something else happened. Letitia Stouch, that is a perfect example. He ran away. I don't know. He ran away. He didn't come home when he was supposed to. They first believed her. Of course they did. And then she started saying a few things, telling on herself. And then they started seeing a few things in the house that looked very made them look twice at it, because they were like, no, that doesn't seem right. That is what caught her. I'll tell you the number one thing that made them realize he did not run away. They saw a speck of blood that she forgot to clean up on a light switch. That is how they started looking for him. There's other cases out there that when you look at the background of things that happen in these households, and then the child is of course called in as a runaway, they believe the parent. But then by the time that they realize that the parent is not telling them the truth, a lot of the evidence is gone. They've already had the ability, they've already cleaned it up, they moved on, they just, and then you can't go back and retrieve it. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of, I don't know, runaway children I just think there should be a law that every time a child under a certain age runs away, it should be treated as a criminal act on day one, period. Just treat it like it's criminal. Don't think of it as a runaway until you know otherwise. Stop believing that all these children are running away. Children running away seems to be, I don't know. I want to find out how many children actually run away. I want to see what is the real numbers for the children ran away, but then it was found out that the parents did something to the child. I'd like to know what a study says about that. But anyway, oh boy. Okay, what did she say? Judy, let's see. We're obligated to speak on it. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about religion another time. I understand your passion about that, Judy, and I get it. I do. And I know we started talking about that today, and then we just talked about all kinds of things. But anyway, that's what I like to do. Just talk about all kinds of things sometimes. But tomorrow, I think, well, not tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Wednesday, Thursday? On Friday. On Friday, I'm going to come back and do my live. And then I'm actually going to talk about, we're actually going to get back on our real comparison that I had started doing way before I started talking about Lori Vallow. But anyway, I'm just come back and we're going to get on that on Friday. So I appreciate y'all coming over, just hanging out for a little bit and talking, just listening to me talk about whatever I wanted to talk about. I think on Friday, if anybody wants to come up, I'm gonna let somebody come up and talk if they want to. When we start talking about Manson and Daybell and Chad Daybell. So because there's things I don't know, there's things you don't know. We can all just talk about it and see what we come up with. So because it's not really just based on was it religion based or not religion based. There's other factors in this that people don't do deep dives into. So I think it's fun to just do a little deep dive into it and see what are the other factors. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. So good to see you. I'm so glad you stopped by. Come by when you can. I always say to everybody, be careful, be safe, hug your children. That's the number one thing you need to be doing. So I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye now. See you Friday. Bye. I can't be doing that.